Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Atypical Declutter game. My name is April and this is Atypical Life. So day 2, what are we going to do today? We're going to designate a declutter area. Decluttering can be really messy, and trying to ignore that fact, pretend it doesn't exist, is going to set you up for failure. Most of my regrets revolve around pulling out a whole bunch of stuff and then decluttering it, only to realize that unless I'm just going to throw it away, I have to figure out what to do with it. Or I'm going to end up with a terrible mess in the middle of the room that ends up living there for a while. And this happens. This happens even now. I just cleaned up a mess that was sitting in the middle of the floor that kind of originated in that same way. A project that got started and, couldn't finish. So anyways, the mess in the middle of the floor is way worse than the other overstuffed drawer that I have to access occasionally, most of the time. Sometimes if it's a closet or a kitchen, maybe the mess in the floor is actually better. But what I've learned, clear out a space in your life for decluttering. If you can create a permanent space, I would totally recommend that, because decluttering and moving stuff around is really a lifelong process, especially if you have kids or are going through phases in your life where you're changing. I've discovered those are like really why we end up having to declutter, is because something in us changed. Or we've just acquired too much stuff, which is different, but it's really a lifelong process though. So if you can kind of create the systems now that aid in that process, you won't have to reinvent the wheel every time that your house is getting a little cluttered, every time that there's a lifestyle change, every time that a kid grows out of the clothes. You have that system already in place. Decluttering areas in my house are kind of on two different levels. The first level, I guess I'll call it, is the permanent spaces. So I have 2 to 3 drawers in my house that are only for putting items there that I will be decluttering. So as I'm running across things in the house, I'll just throw it in the drawer. This helps too. Sometimes it's hard to kind of make that final decision. So if I just put it in the drawer, then I can delay that decision. And that's actually, it's actually kind of helpful to be able to do that. I also have a tote in the attic I can add things to. I have a little shelf and a cabinet. I have a bin in my kids' room. We have like these pull-out things here. I have one of those in his room. So they're all for decluttering as I go. And I want to get back. That's something I'm definitely going to get back into. Another tip I'm going to pick back up on later. So we'll leave that there for now. The other level is something a bit more temporary that I might do while I'm doing a larger declutter, where I intend to move out quite a bit of stuff, like this game. I try to have about 2 of these larger declutters every year. Often it is something like this game or the men's game. Something based on doing a certain amount of things for a certain amount of days. I feel like that's really that really helps me do a lot, or a certain amount of time for a certain day. I should also mention that this game that I'm creating now is really based off of my experience doing the men's game and how helpful that was for me, but also the things that didn't work for me with that were the changes that I made here. So that's a really good game too, and it should definitely be mentioned, and if you want to check that one out, it's cool too. Anyways, when I'm doing a larger declutter, I designate an area of the floor or corner of a room. I set out totes. Obviously, things that are trash go in the trash. I fill the totes with consignment, donate, giveaway items. When the totes get full, I will deal with them. Depending on where I'm at in the decluttering process, I might just add another tote. The cool thing about the totes though, I like, because if something does come up and, unexpected things happen all the time, I can throw a label on those totes and it says decluttering, or I can throw the lid on them, I can throw the label on them, and I can throw them in the attic or in the garage somewhere. And when I get back to them later, I'll kind of remember what was going on with them. Or if I just want to do a quick look through, I can just take everything to donation if I feel so inclined, and just be done with it. So I love it because it's just easy cleanup. That's kind of my tip for making sure you don't make a bigger mess than you already have. That's really the point here.
I went to check out one of my declutter spaces, and in one of the drawers I found all of this stuff. I had some candles that I had cleaned out and ready to donate. I had some cups I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted or not. I had a gift that was given to me but didn't work for me, and a cat bowl that I had put aside because I didn't know if she would like her new one. She in fact did. So now I just have to take all of these things. I am going to donate the things that are able to be donated, and I will throw away. There's a couple things in here that are not going to be able to be donated. A couple of these cups and probably the cat bowl. I might make an effort to keep track of where I'm at. So yesterday I had 8 and today I have 10. So we have 18 total items.
So that's today's tip. Don't forget to post your thoughts in the comments and progress pics on Instagram if you want a little extra encouragement. Hashtag atypical declutter, all one word. Share it with your IRL friends if you think they might want to join in. Thanks everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.